I know most of you have probably heard of Alexis de Tocqueville, I think. He was a French philosopher. He came to America in the early 1800s, and he really wanted to understand why did America become such a powerful, economically viable country in only 50 years since its founding. It's been said, and I don't know that I've seen anything to document it, but it's said quite often that when he first came to America and researched America itself, he began writing Democracy in America. Has anybody read that? There's 2 volumes. One was written in 1835. I've read that one. And one was written in 1840. He posited the question, what and why is America so great? He wanted to understand, how did this happen? He's seen all the countries in Europe and how they've languished for centuries. How did America achieve greatness in only 50 years? Hey, Terry, how you doing? His conclusion was this. No, you can stay there. You're fine. His conclusion, this was de Tocqueville's conclusion. America, he traveled to the factories in New England. He went to the farms in the Midwest, went to the farms in the South, went to Iowa and Missouri, and even down into Texas, went to California, I believe, as well. And he determined this: America was great because America is good. And he said, if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great. Why was America great? Is it because it achieved great success politically? Did money make it great when he was looking at America? No, she was great, and he said this, because she was a moral people who governed their lives with morality, who demanded that God be the hub of society. God was in the center of everything. I have a book that says it was written in 1840, I think, and it talks about the institutions of the United States, the Christian foundings of the institutions of the United States, and it's true. He noticed that people had an ethics and a moral about their lives, that it dominated their lives. Of course, during that time there were evil people. Of course, in every society since the beginning of time, there have been evil people. But he noticed the majority of the people in America were good people who wanted right, who wanted to do right. Now, he was a foreigner. He had no dog in the fight over here. But it's what he observed in the 1830s and 1840s. There was something good about the people of America. Citizens were expected to do right, to act right, to engage with others in a right way. Families were strong. Families taught these moral principles to their little ones. It was important to them. Do you know at that time, people were generally church-going people. I was looking up a church attendance across America throughout the decades. And in 1910, 90% of all Americans attended church, one type of church or another, a Christian church. 90%. Today, it's probably the other way around. 90% don't. Is that your friends from Germany? Hello, how y'all do? Good to see you guys. Heard about you coming. I'm glad you guys are here. So that's what de Tocqueville said. In the 1800s, America was great because America was good. Do you think that's the case today? You see how this country is different than what I grew up in, isn't it, Terry? It's a different place, different moralities. Today, we've lost that. Families have disintegrated in America. The core family is not what it was at the time that he wrote the book, Democracy in America. Divorce is rampant. And I grew up in a family where my dad married and divorced 3 times. I get it. I know what it's like. But divorce to Tocqueville's time, when he wrote Democracy in America, it was important that the family stay together, that they have the same morals and values. That is not the case today. Divorce today is rampant. Premarital sex is rampant today. It's rare, the individual that waits till they get married to perform that act. We have changed our moral standing in this country to our detriment. It is a problem that we're seeing the result of in society today. The philosophy today is, it's what I can get out of this life, and it's all about me. That was not the same philosophy that Tocqueville noticed as he toured America in the 1830s. It's a different philosophy. He said America's great because America's good, and if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great, and that's the problem that we find ourselves in today. Something is wrong with our country. It's wrong. And it starts with the family. Families are important in any society if a country is going to be sound morally. I don't know your name, but your little baby there is depending upon you for moral standing in life, to understand right and wrong. It is so important, and what you do with your child will affect your community and those around you, and we're seeing that result today. I want to take a look today. I said all that to say this. I want to take a look at what strengthens a family and what weakens a family, what causes problems in a family. Turn, if you would, to Ephesians chapter 6, please. I'm talking about things that I know of, being raised in the family that I was raised in, and seeing the results of that. Ephesians 6:1, and I'm not sure how much I'll read, probably 7 or 8 verses, I imagine. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Brother Dave asked me to read that twice. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest live long on the earth. Ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Go down to verse number 7. With good will, doing service, as to the Lord, and not to men, knowing that whatsoever good thing that any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And look at verse number 14. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. The Word of God gives us clear direction throughout the Word of God on how a family unit should operate. Who has responsibility to lead? Who has what the responsibilities the parents have for the children? He's very clear about this. And as a society, we have forgotten these lessons. And we are seeing the result of that all across America today, because we have left and forgotten these core principles, these core values, these ethics of life. And we are paying the consequences. Just the other day at the Mapco station down here, I was reading, did you see that? I couldn't believe it. A mother robbed that Mapco station down here, and her accomplice was her son. What in the world is going on with families where we aren't concerned about teaching morality and right and wrong and truth? We have got to get back to standing on truth regardless of what others think about us. Here are some things. I want to talk about some things. Y'all come on in, guys. Brother Jesse here today? Okay. I'm going to talk about some things that I see happening in families today. things that make families weak as a core unit that hurt the kids and hurt the families and hurt communities and hurt this nation. I'm going to get down to where we live, to be honest. I'm going to be very blunt because I think we need to be blunt to really hear what's going on. Do you know that when there are disagreements and arguments between parents in a home, it hurts the family. It hurts the kids when they see those that should be leading and guiding them arguing and fighting in the home rather than being an example and leading in the home. It will weaken the children. It will weaken the parents. It will weaken the community and weaken the nation when arguing and fighting is rampant in a home. We have got to stop it and start acting like we understand what is right and what is wrong. We think that it is inconsequential when parents in a home argue and fuss and fight all the time. We think it's inconsequential that it will have no ramifications in life, but it will have ramifications in life. I got to tell you, I grew up in a home where mom and dad fought all the time. I can remember seeing, I had ringside seats to the best fights around. I could see ashtrays flying from one end to the other and lamps going back the other way. Man, I could have sold tickets and I'd have gotten rich. That's wrong. There's something wrong with that. And there are consequences when that happens. Kids grow up thinking it's okay to fight and to cause conflict with others. That is part of the reason we see what we see in society today. People don't know what's appropriate, what's right, and what's wrong. Gone are the days when I can remember my grandparents, the wonderful folks, when they had a disagreement, we never knew about it. They would go to the bedroom, and they did something amazing. They would talk about the disagreement. Never heard the voices raised. They would talk about the disagreements behind closed doors. Turn to Genesis chapter 21. I'm telling us things that seem simple, but people don't adhere to. And we need to hear this in our life to ensure young people, as you grow up and get married, learn how to interact with your spouse and in front of your kids. Genesis chapter 21, verse number 9. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Verse 10, wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. I think you know the story. Abraham and Sarah couldn't have children. So she said, go into my bondwoman and have a child, because God said we're going to have a child, so you go do that. It happened, and it created all kind of problems in life. And Sarah couldn't stand Hagar, the bondwoman. She couldn't stand the son of Hagar, Ishmael. And they fought, and they fought, and it caused consternation between Abraham and his wife. It caused problems between Abraham's son, Ishmael, and Isaac, and they fought. And can you imagine the servants in that household who saw what was going on and seeing Abraham kick his son out of the family and the problems that it caused for the servants? Am I next? I'm saying when we argue and fight, when we act like we don't have any sense, and we fight in front of others, it will impact other folks. And today, that happened, I don't know, 2,800 years ago, a long time ago. We are still seeing the result of that arguing and fighting between Ishmael and Isaac and Abraham and Sarah and Hagar today in the form of the Jewish people and the Arab people. They still fight today, and it traces all the way back to there. We do not know the consequences of our fighting in front of those that we shouldn't be fighting in front of. Learn to control our anger. Learn to talk about problems that occur. How often do children play parents against each other? I did it when I was a child. Did you? Mom, can I go outside and play? No. Dad, can I go outside and play? Yes. And I've just created a conflict. Parents, be united in life. Our German friends with the baby, be united as that child is raised. Be together. Don't let that precious little baby ever think that you're in conflict with each other. Parents must be unified at all costs. And when you aren't unified, go into that room, shut the door, don't let the kids hear you, and talk about it. And when you open that door to go back outside, you be one. One. This is what we are going to have our child do. How can two walk together except they be agreed? That is a responsibility of parents. And the lack of doing that all across the society has produced what we see in society today. Oh, you're lucky you're not my child. Conflicts and disagreements weaken a family, hurt a family. Here are other disagreements, and I'll breeze through these because of time, and I'm taking way too much time. Other areas that parents will disagree about, and the kids will see it. Finances. Be united, parents, about finances. I've seen it over and over. I counsel people on their finances a lot. There's a spender, and there's a saver, and they're like this. Don't do that. Talk about it. Those precious little ones should never see that happen. Number two, have rules in the family. Have definite, specific rules in the family. Our children will do this. Our children will not do this. Have rules, and they ought to know exactly what the rules are for the family. In the summertime, we watch our granddaughter. We go pick her up. I wish I could watch her all the time. Love her to pieces. But we have a rule in the house during the summertime. You will read one book a week. You will get a book, and we'll get her the book, and you're going to read it. You wake up, you make your bed right away. Now, it took my wife about 25 years to teach me that, but make your bed right away. You will do your children a favor, parents, if you have rules in the house. Not that you are being mean and an old gore, no, but you love them, and you're teaching them a principle of life. Have rules for them. Kids need parameters in life. When you don't have parameters around them, you get what we have in society today. And we don't want that for our kids. Establish some agreed upon forms and ways of disciplining your child. That baby is so cute. She is so cute. But you know what? There's coming a day when that child will need discipline. Be agreed with each other on that discipline. Have expectations. I expect things from my family, out of my family, from my kids, from my grandkids. I expect them to study from school. I have expectations. And when a child doesn't have expectations in life, they are left to their own devices to do whatever they want. And it's to their detriment. It will harm you in life when you don't have expectations. It will hurt a family. Do you know, turn to Proverbs chapter 19. We need to watch out for the instructions that children will get in life. Proverbs 19, verse 27 says, "Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth to err from the word of knowledge." Not having the right instruction will hurt children, and they will err from the truth. They will go about and do their own thing. The education that you give your children is important in life. Is it an education that is Christian-based in foundation? Does it have a Christian worldview, or does it have a worldly world, a secular worldview? You say, well, are you against education, Jeff? No, I think education's wonderful. We ought to ensure our children are educated, but I'm not for education that teaches that evolution is a fact. I'm not for that type of education. And if you allow them to be influenced by that type of thinking, it will hurt them in life. Eventually, the end result of that is that you are nothing but an animal. And we are seeing the result of that today. And I won't get into the scientific aspects of showing that it's still just hypothesis, but they teach it as fact. I'm against that, but I'm not against us learning godly values and principles in life that will help us in life. Be alert to the instructions that your children are getting from television and from movies and from videos and from TikTok and from Instagram. Be alert to the things that are entering into their mind that will harm them in life and produce all that we see in society today. Control those things in their life for their benefit. Help them. My father started, the people they hang around as they get older, you control that. You watch out for the people that they hang around as they get older. My father grew up here in Memphis, and in the 1950s, he started hanging around with a guy named Dago Tiller. Anybody that's been in Memphis at any time has probably heard about the Tiller family. My grandmother saw him and met him, and she said, "Jerry, my father, you cannot hang around that guy anymore." 3 years later, Dago Tiller killed somebody and spent the rest of his life in prison. Parents, you be concerned enough and love your child enough. She is not bothering us. If she's not bothering you, she's not bothering me at all. Parents, you love and be concerned enough about your children that you're concerned about who they are around, because who they are around will affect them. Being wrong in any of these areas I've just talked about will weaken that individual. It will weaken that family. It will weaken the community. And it will weaken a nation. And it has. It has weakened a nation. When they're rebellious, get it taken care of fast. Do not allow rebellion to fester. And I won't get into that. We can see that in Deuteronomy and in Titus as well. For time's sake, I'm going to go to what strengthens the family. If you want to have strong children, children that think right, children that act right, if you want to have strong families, families that develop a solid reputation, like this family and that family and that family and that family, a solid reputation. We need to build a home on love and respect. Turn to Colossians chapter 3, if you would, please. Love and respect for each other. It's what's missing in many homes today. Colossians 3, verse 12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, meaning forgiving one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. Above all things put on charity, or love, which is the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful. Look over at Titus chapter 2. Titus chapter 2. There is a distinct difference between actions that weaken an individual, that weaken a family, and those that strengthen an individual or a family. Titus chapter 2. That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers of home, good, obedient to their own husband, that the word of God be not blasphemed. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded. The greatest thing I can tell the husbands and wives here today, love each other. Love each other. Will they make you mad? Yep. I've been married for 44 years. 44 years. There's been a time or two that she's made me mad. Hardly any that I've made her mad. Love each other. Even when things are not good, love each other. Even when you disagree, keep love as the preeminent thing. Love them. You promise to do that. Talk good about the other person. Lift them up in the eyes of your children. They should never hear anything from the dad's mouth to the children negative about mom. It ought to all be positive, talking good things about the other to the children. I knew a family where the wife was, I can't even say words that come to my mind about her. She was always railing against the husband in front of the kids and in public, calling him names, vile names, in front of everybody. It's no wonder that today those kids act just like that. They've been divorced, a couple of them, numbers of times, because of what they saw mama do. Be careful the things you say about your spouse. Make them always be uplifting things, good things. The Bible tells us about that. And then parents and children, love each other. Love your kids. I know this is the case for you guys here too. I would die for my kids. They're grown. I've got a daughter 42. I've got a son turning 40. I've got a son 37. I would still die for them. And if I'm willing to die for them, shouldn't I be willing to act right for them? To act with ethics and moral and biblical standing for them? It will change families, and it will change communities, and it will change a nation if that is what we do. Turn to Ephesians chapter 6, if you would, please. And we're just about done. We have about 5 more minutes. Is it hot in here to you guys? Oh, my word. Hey, Hudson, can you see that air is on, please? Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4. And ye fathers, talking specifically to the dads, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and the admonition of the Lord. What is nurture? What does that even mean? Somebody, what is nurture? I'm sorry? Nurture is this. When I eat food I am getting what? Nourishment. It's the same word. This is not talking about just eating food, though we ought to feed our kids right. It's talking about feeding the spirit, the mind, the intellect, and the nurture and the admonition of the Lord. Feeding them the right things that their body, soul, and spirit need. That's the Father's responsibility. That's my responsibility to ensure they get what they need in life. And the admonition. And when time comes, say, nope, you can't do that. Because I love you. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Our German friends, I don't think in Europe they spank much anymore. My parents believed in it, believe me. My grandfather really believed in it. Scared to death of him. I would spank my children. Before I did, though, I would tell them, listen, I love you so much. And I know where these actions are leading to. I love you, period. I don't love you hoping you love me. I love you, period. Because I know what's going to happen at the end of this road. I'm going to do all I can to stop you from doing those things. Me and my wife are doing a garden this year. The McCulloughs have seen it, and it's doing pretty good for people that don't know what they're doing. But I found out in spending time in the garden, because I cared so much for those plants, there's something I hate. The weeds. Who said the weeds? That's exactly right. The weeds. I hate weeds. But I love the plants. I love my children. But I hate the things that will harm them. I'm telling us things that will help them, us, the community, and the nation. And we need some people that will decide, I am going to stand up and do right. Though nobody else is doing it, I am going to take biblical precepts and apply them to my life. And this is how I'm going to live. You say, well, I wasn't raised like that. I won't get into my life, but a lot of people weren't. You can decide how you are going to live. Isn't that right, Brother Dave? Isn't that right, Terry? You can decide how you're going to live, different than how you're raised, and you're going to cling to truth and right and biblical precepts. And I think I'm going to... the last thing I'll say, we won't turn there, but in 1 Timothy, have your children, because you love them, in subjection. Meaning, son, you're going to obey me. This is not up for discussion. This is what you're going to do. Children should be in subjection to their parents, listening to their parents, obeying their parents. And you do. You obey. Your life is on the right track. And I want that for you guys in life. We live in a day where the children don't fear the parents. The parents fear the children. Ain't happening in my house. Ain't going to happen. Because I love them. And I want it to be well for them.